Feel different. And feel different. Mic check, mic check, mic check.
Get
1
your
2 1
mans.
2. Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Let me know. Thumbs up in the chat box if you can hear me. It looks good on my end. I want to make sure I'm good on your end before I spit these bars real quick. Nah, I'm joking. Before I talk about the Raven stuff. All right, let's go ahead and run it, man. I'm not gonna keep you long. Not gonna hold you long. Don't forget we got lunch break hot take coming up at 7:15 tonight. Make sure you go check them guys out. I want to talk about the news that just broke on Twitter, and it was crazy, interesting, crazy, just crazy. Really, and the big part about I'm gonna be honest with you. I was so fired up when I saw this. I was so fired up when I saw that the lives have ran out on this cat that I skipped all over the T Martin stuff until C Iron just mentioned it, and I went back to go look at the tweet. So we'll talk about T at the end, and that's why I just added his name to the title, and he's not in the thumbnail. I'll probably go back and change the thumbnail too though. But I was so fired up to see the lives have finally ran out on this sucker. Now, if you don't know, I tweeted the video about I tweeted the video that this picture came from when I saw it, just to throw it back out there and let people see it that didn't see it. But to basically summarize that, man, this cat, let's talk about what he's been through and what he's done to the team. all of the injuries. Let's go back to 19 and not 19. I think it was 20. The COVID situation. NFL had certain COVID rules in play where you had to do X amount of things and had to do it a certain way, and he refused to do it. He refused to do it, and half, if not more than half, the darn team ended up with COVID. And can't directly say it's him, but all signs point toward him. So again, this cat had more lives than anybody can talk about.
Get your man.
A boatload of lives. He should have been gone. Been gone. But now I can finally say, John Harbaugh finally.
What's up?
Get your man.
Alright.
Finally got his mans up out of here. Finally. So again, the COVID situation, then all of the injuries. Now, is he the architect of this notorious what's they call it? Conditioning test? I don't know. But if he is the architect of this notorious conditioning test that's just notorious throughout the league, get him out of here. Because nowadays, the athletes these days, they work out year round. They may take a month off when the season is over with, but then they get back on the grind. So there is no need for that test to be that strenuous. And if he's not the architect of it, whoever the architect of it is needs to be next on the chopping block. I was going to get to that, Terrell. So all of the injuries and whatnot, the COVID situation, and then the thing that just set it off, and I think this is around the time I put this video out, with Terrell just mentioned it, the Derek Wolfe stuff. The Derek Wolfe was highly peaked. Derek Wolfe's probably lighting a cigar right now, with some yak. Talking about time. And his wife probably got some wine, toasting it up. They both of them probably saying about time. This cat should have been about here. He had more lives than, and I'm not an advocate of firing people because I never want to be fired. Please, never. I don't want to be fired. But for what they do and for how important it is and how it affects the next person's job, and he had to go. But if I continually messed up like that, I deserve to be fired. If I continually messed up like that, I deserve to be fired. And he is up out of there. So again, that's one thing checked off for this video. Steve Saunders is finally up out of there. The real ops, finally got caught. The real ops finally got caught. So, second thing, Willie Taggart. Let me see if I can pull this up. Hold on. Give me one shakes of a lamb's tail. That's country slang for those city folks out there. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Try to throw this together for you real quick, because I was sitting on the couch when this broke, and with the encouragement of my wife, I jumped on up to try to bring y'all some info. Here you go. All right. So now this is basically I'm bringing up the thumbnail. Willie. It says out with the ops, in with Willie Harbaugh. And don't take me putting this up there as like a shot at Willie. I like Willie Taggart. I do. I wished him, when he was the coach at Florida State, I rooted for him. I wanted him to win. I wanted him to do well. It didn't work out that way. I think he got a raw deal, but I'm not going to get into that. We're going to talk about his relationship with the Harbaughs. So yesterday, Todd Monken had his introductory presser, and a bunch of us loved it. A bunch of us finally was like, he hired somebody outside of his comfort zone, his nepotismist ways. But he ruined it for us with his opening statements by saying his sister put him on to Todd Monken. And hopefully, Todd goes and does great things for the Ravens, but that's that, you know what that is. But then, follow it up with this, with his baby brother. And I know Will is black. The Harbaughs are white. I understand that. This still Taggart is an honorary Harbaugh. And for those that don't know the story, I'm gonna give you the Cliff Notes version real quick. Taggart is from Florida. Went to Manatee High School. Shout out to Jaquez Green, who got me my first job here in Florida. Who's the head coach at Manatee now. So shout out to Jaquez Green. Appreciate you. Love you. But Willie went to that school down there, and coming out of high school, he went to, I think it's Western Kentucky, and played for Jack Harbaugh, who's the daddy, who's the originator of Who's Got It Better Than Us? Nobody. He's the originator of that. And so, I'm going to take this off because ain't no calling show.
All right.
Calling show last night. There we go. The originator of Who's Got It Better Than Us? Nobody. That's his dad. So Willie played quarterback at Western Kentucky for Jack Harbaugh. After his playing days was over with, I think he ended up going back being the OC at Western Kentucky while Daddy Jack was still there. All right. So some years later, I don't know the exact yearage. Let me go this way so you can kind of see the chat. Some years later, he went and was coached with Jim, if I'm not mistaken, at Stanford. Coached with Jim at Stanford. Got it from under that tree and did his thing. Went to Oregon, for a year. Then ended up at Florida State for 2 years. Then went to FAU for about 2 or 3 years. And now he's in Baltimore coaching for John. So then there's a story behind more than just the coaching, that he's so close to them, he's almost part of the family. Which I don't have no problem with that. That's cool. That's fine. That's great. But it brings me back to a more of a nepotism hire. That's what it brings me back to. Now I hope he does well in the running back room. I hope he does. What I do think is, and I'll get to this. No, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that thought. I think he's gonna do well in the running back room, and I'm gonna bring it full circle after I talk about T for a second. So, T Martin is now, and this T Martin thing is off the dome because again I didn't even realize it until C Iron said it when the video first started. I was so shocked by seeing Steve Saunders up there, because I wasn't gonna even talk about Taggart. My wife encouraged me to do it. I wasn't going to talk about Taggart because I put out a video about Taggart. I just felt like I didn't want to just talk about it. But when the Steve Saunders came out, I felt like I could intertwine them in together. Steve Saunders came out, I could intertwine them in together. So, what up, G West? Good evening, Coach. I was going to say like and subscribe to the channel because he's one of the best Ravens content. Hold on. What about now? Say it now, G. But again, moving T to quarterback coach. So that means Urban is out of there. Which I kind of wanted Urban out of there for certain reasons. And this is me about to tile this back in. T's the quarterback coach. I'm assuming that they're going to let Dub handle the receivers like solo instead of being like the assistant coach or the whatever dynamic him and T had. But it always goes back. Appreciate the 5, like father, like son. Appreciate it. What up? How you doing? Relating. This is me tying it back in. Relating to players. Willie's situation at Florida State was not his relationship. He was good with the players. Other stuff he was not good at, but he's a players coach. He understands how to relate with them, their struggles, where they come from, their background. He knows how to talk to them. He's a player. He's relatable. Their relatability don't win football games, but he was relatable. Now, as a position coach, you can do that. You need that as a position coach because you spend most of the time with the players. The head coach don't. The coordinator don't. You as a position coach spend most of the time with the players. So you need to be a relatable guy understand the music, understand the lifestyle, understand that they can come and talk to you about something not football related, and you're not so far gone, or you didn't grow up so much different from them that you can understand what they talk to and give them some sound advice. Same thing with T. With T being the quarterback's coach now, if Lamar stays, which I hope he does, T can tell Lamar about different things, and they can talk about stuff that may not be football related that him and Urban couldn't talk about. And I'm gonna bring this story back. I'm gonna bring it full circle. And Dub already had a great relationship with people. Dub's a relationship builder. That's how he got the job he got. He's a relationship guy. So, but I will say this, and I'm gonna kind of end it shortly, because I want to make sure you guys go get ready for LBHT today. And I'm sure they're gonna talk about it too. LBHT today. LBHT. They're gonna talk about it too, but. And I'm not gonna put it. I'm a part of this story, but I'm not gonna put my names in it. I was coaching at one point, and Coach came to me, and we were just having casual conversation. And he was like, "Coach, I kind of need you to do X, Y, Z for me, because you can say stuff to the kids that I can't." And I thought about it for me. I thought about it before I replied to him, and just thought about some of the conversations that I had with kids on the side that didn't involve the coach. And I'm like, you know what? I can. Because if I could say one sentence to them and it means nothing, is maybe it's funny, it's relatable, it's okay, I got it or whatever. But then if this person said it, it's almost an insult or borderline ready to fight. So now you're about to have guys that are relatable to the type of players we got. Because look at our quarterback room. South Florida, Wicks, dreadlocks, rap music. Urban ain't relating to that. And no shade on Urban. He didn't grow up in that. So anything outside of X's and O's, they probably ain't talking about it. Now you slide Dub there, the receiver room was probably good. They just weren't good on the field. Relationship wise, they probably real good. Running backs. I don't even know who the running back coach was. But Willie is a relatable guy. He's a relatable guy. He's a good dude, man. He just didn't have success at Florida State or FAU. Will's a good dude. And I wish him well. He just happened to be an honorary Harbaugh. So it is what it is. And I hope all this is setting up to make 8 happy. I hope that they're looking around and saying, look at what we did. We brought in guys that can relate to you and can help you out. So I hope all this is being set up to make Lamar happy. And hopefully they start working on a deal if they haven't already started working on it. So that's where we at with this. And again, T. Martin's not in the thumbnail, but he will be within 5 minutes of me shutting this down, because I didn't see it at first until C. Iron told me that T. Martin was moved to quarterback coach. But again, Steve Saunders out of there, which he should have been out of there, because he is, in the words of Bubba Dub, trash. Willie's in because he's an honorary Harbaugh. And it took me a while to learn it, and me and my wife just talked about it. It's about who you know and not necessarily what you know. Who you know gets you in the door, and what you know keeps you there. And I wish I had learned that earlier, but I didn't. It is what it is. You live and you learn. And then that's what we got, man. I got JSN that I'm going to watch at some point tonight with the members and Patreon. And then I'm going to try to get the full video out to everybody. It's probably going to be tomorrow. But that's what's coming up. I appreciate everybody for coming through. I appreciate the 5 from Like Father Like Son. Let me make sure. I didn't see this come up, but let me hit that and make sure it come up. There you go. And hit the like button. If you have not, hit the like button. If you haven't, if you chatting, you subscribed. But if you watching and you can't chat, if you want to chat, hit the subscribe button and you can do so. We're pushing on 7,900. I think we're like 40 away from 7,900. So let's subscribe, share, get that out there. Let's make this push for 8K before the draft rolls over. Let's try to push 8K before the draft rolls in May. So again, appreciate you guys, man. See y'all soon. And what up, Big Reg? I'm out. Oh, I did a whole roll call and y'all ain't even hear me. My bad. My bad.